Welcome back to another Unity 5 tutorial. In this session, once again, we're gonna focus on our Waypoints tool, and even though it's quite handy already and working well, there's still a few things I want to add. So this session and the following session, we're gonna focus mainly on adding and deleting waypoints. I hope you're excited. So let's get right into it. I just went ahead, created a new Unity project and imported the package we created last session. So this is our Waypoints tool, and the first thing, as I drag in the prefab, the first thing that stands out is that dragging in a prefab doesn't do much. You cannot see anything, and that's a bit annoying. So let's change that. So I open up the Waypoint script out of the scripts folder, open it up in MonoDevelop, and in our draw custom gizmo function, there is an if statement if waypoints count is larger than 0. And this is where I want to jump in. So, with an as statement. So it's actually as simple as that. If there's no waypoint in yet, I want to create one automatically. The first one will be created on the same position as our object, so that works pretty well. If you look back, Unity is updating the script, and right away we have a waypoint there. So what I want to do now is add a couple more buttons. The first button, or yeah, actually here I'm gonna add one more button. So here I would like to add a button to reset all the waypoints, because we've had that problem before, that I started adding waypoints and then yeah, like somehow we messed around with it, and then we actually, if we want to clean them up, we have to delete them here in the hierarchy view, and we have to delete them out of our list. So these are the two places where we need to do something. So yeah, I just want to get to that now. Gonna add a new function at the bottom of our waypoint script. This is a public void, and I call it reset waypoints. And what it will do is, in a for each loop, I loop through all the game objects in the list, and I want to destroy the game object. Since we're working in the editor mode, I actually have to use destroy immediate. Destroy doesn't work in here in this setting. Excuse me. So I save that, and now nothing is happening yet, because we still need to open up our waypoint editor script and add our button for it. So here in our editor script, I'm just gonna copy and paste this button we had already, and create a new button called reset waypoints, which is calling the function we just wrote, reset waypoints. I save the script, go back to Unity, and now hopefully we have our button. If I press it, it's all gone. But there's a problem. Right now we did only focus on deleting our game objects here, but they're still in our waypoints list. The waypoints list, however, I want to change differently. So I go back to the waypoint script. I don't want to do that here in the reset waypoints function, but actually here in the beginning of draw custom gizmo, that just helps us to keep it always clean. So basically every time it's drawing the gizmos, it's changing anything, I want to check, is there any empty object in our list which needs to be erased? So how do I call this? Cleanout waypoints list. And we can do that with a one line actually, and using the remove all function. And here we pass on an item, a predicate that works. I just write it down and I explain it. Basically what that is, this is condition. If this condition is true, this part will be fulfilled, or yeah, that's a weird way of saying it. Basically we go through each item, or we go through we want to remove everything in our waypoints list, but only if this condition is true, it's gonna delete the item that we're iterating through. And so the condition is that the item is null, and that actually does the trick for us. So now I went back to Unity, and what happened now in a blink of an eye was that all those empty game objects have been deleted, or all those empty references actually. And since we added our create waypoint here at the end, right away a new waypoint was created. So that's quite neat. And we can add more and more and more and more and reset it. But one thing I don't like, one thing I don't like about the whole process of adding waypoints right now is that once we add a waypoint, we're always still selecting our parent object. So I want to change that. And I'm going to do that at the end of our create waypoint function, because that's where something needs to happen. So we use the class selection and set our active object to the newly created, in this function we create a new waypoint. This is the selected object. And if I, oh sorry, opened up GIMP, oh whatever. So if I now create a new waypoint, right away it's selected and I can move it around. So that's pretty cool. One thing I don't like right now is that, sorry, just need to put GIMP, turn GIMP off again. One thing I don't like yet, if I add a new waypoint and press now Control C, it's still there. It's not, our undo function is actually not removing the created object. So if I accidentally added one instead of resetting or whatever, then it would not undo my action. So in order to change this, we have to add another line here saying, telling the undo class, or calling a function of the undo class, register created object undo. And this takes two parameters. That is, first of all, the object we're talking about, and then a name. So I'm just going to call this create and the name of our object. So this is actually, I can show you what that is all about. If I now add a waypoint and click on edit, you see here edit, undo create waypoint 6, and the latter part is what we actually put in as a string, as a name. So, and I can press Ctrl C and it's gone again. So that is quite nice. Another thing what I still don't like is that I can only create waypoint objects from our parent objects. So right now if I press add waypoint, I'm jumping right to the waypoint child object. but I don't have a way to just add right away another waypoint here. So what we need for that is actually another editor script. So in the editor folder, I create a new C# script. I call this Waypoint child editor. Open it up in MonoDevelop, and the first things we need to do is set it up for Unity editor use. So we remove the mono behavior, remove those mono behavior functions, and now we need to tell Unity that this is a custom editor of the type show parent gizmo. This is the script, if you remember, the script we added to each waypoint in order to show it whenever this one is shown. Okay, so here we need a reference first of all to our script, to our waypoint script. Waypoints script. And we're gonna get this reference on enable. Actually, we also need, sorry about that, I'm jumping a bit around here. We also need, let's call this waypoint script, and this is our script. I want a reference to our show parent gizmo script, which is that one, and I want a reference to the waypoint script from the parent object. So to get this, first the script reference, we get it in casting the show parent gizmo class to the target that comes with custom editor, and the waypoint script reference we can get from the script fetch from there. Now we have the parent, transform.parent gives us the parent game object, and there we just need to call get component waypoint script. There it is. And now the latter part, we can actually just copy and paste our waypoint editor script and delete the second button for now. So I'm gonna call this at waypoint at end. So for now what we're gonna do is just create a waypoint at the end of our list, and that works fairly easy. We just use our reference to our waypoint script and call our create waypoint function. So I just save my script, and now if I click on one of the waypoints, we have our button here, and it does what it promises to, gives us a nice waypoint at the end. So if I move it around, we always have the standard offset that we set in our create function. So that works. I also would like to add a button though to delete the waypoint I selected. So let's move back to, let's first add the button and then the functionality behind it. I copy and paste the 3 lines of button creation and call this button delete. Yeah, that's fairly straightforward. And the function I'm going to call delete waypoint But now we actually need to pass in our waypoint game object. So there would be script transform game object. Save the script and switch back to waypoint script. And just here underneath create waypoint, I add our delete function. So first we need to get the index of our game object in a list. Index that will be waypoints index of the game object we pass through to the function. And the next thing, I want to remove this very item in our list. And not to forget, we also want to destroy it in the scene view. Destroy immediate. So let's switch back to Unity. And now you see our delete button. I chose now number 4 and press delete. And it's gone. A few things I don't like about it. First of all, after I pressed delete, nothing was selected. So it would make sense, I guess, to have either one of the siblings selected or to have the parent object selected. I'm gonna go for the parent object now. So right here we type selection active object game object. So this sets the holder of this script. Oh, sorry, it's not a function. So this sets the active object to the holder of this script. Another thing I don't like about the process of deleting right now is that even though the numbers are right on our waypoints, it's going from 1 to 7 right now, in a hierarchy view it's not at all. And if I start adding now again, you see now we even have waypoint 8 2 times. That gets pretty quickly pretty messy. So let's not go there. What we need is private function. I'm gonna call it clean waypoints. In this one I want to iterate through all the waypoints and then change the name and the order and the hierarchy view. Excuse me, the order and hierarchy view. So instead of trying to sort the names, I'm just gonna rename them. And we're gonna use the same naming convention as before. So it will basically look like they've been oh no, they will not look like reordered, they will look like they have been renamed. Anyways, so let's try that out. I just need to call this function, of course. Silly me. Right here after selecting the parent object. So if I now press delete, you can see the numbers are right. So that's quite nice. Let's check if we always got the right one. That works. So if I add and delete, we still always have the waypoint we wanted. So that works pretty well. Okay, so let me think. Yeah, that's about it, what I wanted to do in this session. Yeah. So in the next session, what we're gonna add is a functionality to say, I wanna add a waypoint just in between this one and this one, because you know, you set up a path and you just realize, oh, my character actually needs to walk around an object here, or I just want to change it a bit. So it would be quite a hassle if you then need to rearrange all the waypoints behind the place where you forgot something, just because you can only add them at the end. So we're gonna add this in the next session. Well, thank you for watching and see you then. Bye.